What's up, my dudes? Ironman Raceway 2019. So this is the first actual, multiple years of the same track in one of these arcade motocross games that I've seen ever before. This is pretty badass. Kind of feel like I'm playing MX Simulator. You know, you go down through your track list and you got Ironman Raceway 2019, Ironman Raceway 2018, you got Glen Helen 2015, you know what I mean? This is kind of cool right here. So this is really the first we've ever seen of this. So I'm going to hop on this track right now. Yeah. I don't give a shit about any of this, whatever. I just want to get out front, not have to worry about him, dude, so I can check out the track. Okay, guess I could have went in there on free ride. You dumbass. But either way, so first of all, if you guys want to get in my Discord, any of you guys out there that want to get in on that, all you got to do is DM me on Instagram at Spencer Turley, no spaces and no capital letters. You'll find me on Instagram there, and all you got to do is DM me, and I'll send you an invite to my Discord. So if any of you guys are wanting to get in on that, that's how you do that. But either way, okay, so completely different track layout. So you guys know they came out with the all of the AMA National DLC for MX vs. ATV All Out. And with some of the tracks, I can't remember exactly which ones, but some of them they had the year before, and some of them they had the current year. I don't really know why. I don't know if some of them they hadn't actually ran the real life race yet. I don't know exactly what the reasoning was for that, but dude, check this shit out. So it's been a while since I played me some All Out. Hell, to be completely honest with you, I don't even remember what the hell the normal Ironman 2018 replica one looked like in here. So damn. I'll go back in there. We'll go check out the 2018 one again and kind of compare and look at some of the differences that they've made here. So but either way, nonetheless, it's interesting to, oh my god, dude, those jumps. Just imagine just imagine if the milestone games had jumps like that. You know what I mean? Just imagine. That's the precise problem that I've been talking about with MXGP 2019. Oh, nobody even remembers that game. Whoops. Yeah, that one game Milestone made a couple months ago, right? That's precisely the problem with their game, right? Every single jump in that game feels like, shit, I'm not even going to be able to hit a small enough jump on this entire track to even compare it. Even that jump right there, that feels like twice as big as any jump on MXGP 2019. Fucking insane, dude. That right there. That's about how most of the jumps are on MXGP 2019. But those tabletops that pop you up in the air, there's such a fun factor to that. There's such a extra layer to the game that it adds in a motocross game when you actually have some jump fun factor and jump skill gap. See, it's not that it has to be perfectly one-to-one scaling replicated. That's where they start going wrong. A lot of these modern game companies trying to make these replica tracks and some standard user creator custom tracks in some of these games. That's where a lot of them go wrong, is they try to make the replica tracks way too much one-to-one scale. And what that creates a lot of times is these super narrow tracks with really small jumps, really boring, small, cramped down scaling jumps, and you feel like you're barely ever getting off the ground because it's all trying to be like one-to-one scale, you know what I mean? They're trying to scale it with the bike, and sometimes you just can't do that in an arcade motocross game. You can get away with that a lot more in a simulator, but when it comes to an arcade motocross game, you can't get away with that as much. You know what I'm saying? You just can't do that because there's got to be that certain level of fun factor to it, and that's what this is right here. You see how that jump's probably a little bit bigger than it would be in real life, 10 to 20% more pop you up and 10 to 20% bigger than it would be in real life. Not a whole lot bigger. It's not even big enough to really say that that's not, really, really close like it is in real life. I still think it's very close to like it would be in real life. But they've injected just a little bit more fun factor, just a little bit more pop you up. Holy kickers and shit off of that jump face. Literally ruts and kickers up that. That's pretty sick. But that's what I'm saying though. You've got to, and it's okay every once in a blue moon. Don't let me get my words twisted here. It's okay every once in a blue moon to have a true one-to-one scale track. That's okay. Okay, I'm not saying you can never have that. What I'm saying is it's a problem when every single person that makes a replica track tries to make it 1-to-1 scale. And when they come out with an entire game based around replica tracks, aka MX should be 2019, and every single track in the game, jump-wise, is like 30-foot jumps, and that's about as big as any jump in the entire game. That's when it starts becoming a problem. You see what I'm saying? When they're trying to make it too, like, 1-to-1 scale, quote-unquote, realistic, even though it's really not really like that, but it's like they try to make the track scaling too realistic, and then it kind of goes backwards. You know what I mean? It kind of backfires on them. But either way, it's pretty sick right here. I'll go check out that 18 one here in a second. And, of course, they did come out with another update that has some changes to it as well. I'll probably make a separate video on that, but just want to come here and check out this track in itself. Got that cool-ass little dinosaur blow-up thing. I always thought that was kind of sick on this track. Isn't it funny how the little touches sometimes on tracks is what makes them memorable and what makes them like stand out and shit like that? Kind of interesting how that is. Okay, so for comparison, and I have rode on that other track, the normal 2018 replica one. It's just been a little while, you know what I'm saying? Been a couple months since I've seen it, so with this, I do think you actually, obviously, you have to have the AMA National DLC purchased before this is going to show up for you. So they kind of treated it like one of those things where if you bought it, it was like a one-time buy thing, and then all the future AMA replica motocross tracks they've came out with, you've just kind of gotten. The same way with this one, like if you already have the AMA National DLC pack or whatever they call it, like I don't even know what the hell they call it, season pass, whatever the fuck, I don't even know. But you're going to get this track automatically, so this is not like a separate thing from that, you know what I mean? But this is cool. This is interesting when you start thinking about being able to, like, carry over content, carry over multiple years of tracks content-wise and things like that. It starts getting pretty interesting when you start thinking about all that with it. But, I have nothing against having, like, multiple versions of multiple years of tracks in one game. I think that's badass. I think it's really cool how you can do that. Sometimes it's not worth it because there's not that much of a change, especially in some of these AMA National tracks, but especially like Supercross tracks, you know what I mean? That's what makes MX Simulator and console version of Reflex so cool is like you can go play on 2012 fucking Anaheim 1 replica in MX Simulator and then go in there and play like, 2014 Daytona replica on MX Simulator and then go in there and play like the most modern 2019 like in Las Vegas replica in MX Simulator. So it gives it this cool feeling of being able to play on a lot of different real life track content, stuff like that. Got some cool ass jumps on this right here. Some downhills, skill gappy roughness. Kind of got to get on your brakes right there. This is my first time ever seeing this track, so I don't even really know what the hell I'm doing here. But if that wasn't already apparent to you, I've never claimed to be like some all-out professional or some shit. I don't even play all out like that. You know what I mean? I just don't. But either way, cool ass jump right here, dude. This one in particular, those two jumps right there, that downhill and that jump was pretty big in real life too. If any of you guys remember that was a pretty big ass. They had some big ass jumps on this track in 2019. I actually watched that race. Pretty big ass jumps, especially those two right there in a row like that. They've got some interesting roughness on this track too, like in some of the areas where it'll kind of fold up. Like not fold up, but kind of like the track will be turning and warping up at the same time. This right here is so badass. All these kickers they got off the face of that. God damn, hell yeah. They're really starting to learn how to get some of those jump faces more realistic and skill gappy and fun. And it's not to say you have to have every jump face have some kickers and crazy gnarly shit on the jump face, but every once in a while it's nice to have that difference instead of just perfectly flat, smooth jump faces on everything. You know what I mean? It's fun to have a little bit of that variation to that every once in a while, but yeah, either way, like look at that right there. Look at those ruts kind of going up the side of that and all this roughness coming down through here. Dude, could you imagine, like, reflex physics on this? God damn, that'd be sick. That'd be awesome. Cool, kind of off-cambered ruddy corner right there. Okay. So, yeah, that is the new 2019 replica Ironman Raceway track. Pretty sick. Interesting how the terrain deformation is actually putting in some work on this puppy, too. That's pretty cool. I'm noticing it just within 5 laps. It's certainly changing some of this, so interesting how it's developing like that. But, yeah, man, either way, just want to come here and check this little puppy out right here, dude. God, look at how different this is right here. Specifically directly in front of me from like MXGP 2019 motocross tracks. I mean, they're literally like flat, like all the way up the inside, and you got a little bitty berm on the outside. You see why that game sucks ass? You see why a lot of those milestone motocross games suck complete ass? Because they're not only missing the inside ruts and the roughness and all that, they're also missing the big jump fun factor in all their games too. In the roughness and the ruts, like, oh my God, how can you have a motocross game without that? I don't know. And yet people still try to defend it. It's fucking insane. It's literally insane. And again, I'm not saying every motocross track has to be rough as shit. I'm not saying every motocross track has to have huge jumps. I'm not saying every motocross track has to have crazy inside ruts or kickers on jump faces or whatever. But to have an entire game that has no ruts, no kickers, no roughness, no big jumps in the entire game, that's when it becomes a problem. AKA MXGP 2019, AKA most of the milestone games that they've ever came out with, right? That's when it becomes the problem. Cool how it kind of goes to different dirt right here, kind of sandy vibe. Let me go check out that other one real quick. Okay. Alrighty then. So just for comparison, I wanted to hop in here on the default Ironman, which is the 2018 replica one, if I'm not mistaken. We'll kind of check out the differences. So, interesting. So, a lot of you guys might be thinking in your head like, oh, well, the 2019 Ironman replica comes out. It's probably just going to be like a different layout, you know what I mean? Or like whatever. And to be completely honest with you, that whole first area seems very, very similar, but not just that. The damn, and that jump right there is pretty similar, but it's like it has a whole different dirt compound to it. Remember how different the ruts were right there? On the one before, now it's getting into a different section. So it's not just a layout difference, it's a whole entire, like, almost like track compound difference or some shit. Like it looks like that 2019 replica one that we were just on was way more prepped, way deeper dug down, dissed up, deeper ruts, more roughness. This is more like a smoother version, smaller rut designed Ironman. So it's more than just a layout change. That's really badass. It's not just like they took the exact same track, copy and pasted it, but then change the layout. It's like an entirely different dirt coloration, entirely different dirt compound, different types of roughness, different types. And that's how it is in real life. Believe it or not, like every year, you know, Redbud's not going to be the exact same way that it's prepped, and the types of ruts and the roughness, it's going to be similar, but it's not going to be exactly the same. So every year it's going to be a little bit different. So it's cool to see that they tried to integrate that here with the 2019 replicated one versus the 2018. But hell, the layouts really aren't that much different at all, to be honest. So they had to do something different with that section's different right there, right? Kind of sweeps back around the other way on the 19 one, but this one's way smoother. Look at that, dog. So that's cool. You can kind of get that variation of like going there on a smooth, less prepped Ironman, and then going there on the 2019 Ironman. It's like super prepped, deep, ruddy, more darker dirt vibe. This has kind of got like a lighter, dry, less prepped, less dug down dirt vibe to it. So pretty cool, that sort of variation they have there. That's nice. That excites me for like in the future for them to have multiple. That would be sick. Like now that I'm thinking of it in my head, that'd be sick if they came out with like whatever next MX vs. ATV game they're going to come out with. And then every year, you know, maybe like the game they try to go for like a long life cycle of a game versus Milestones come out with 3 new games every year bullshit, which they kind of did that with All Out a little bit. You know, All Out, they've been working on it, updating it for, 2 years now? I mean, it's been a while. So it'd be cool if they come out that next game almost like a Reflex 2, and then they try to just constantly support that game for years upon years upon years, right? That would be really badass if they go more for that route versus come out with the game, a little bit of DLC, and then we're making a new game already. It'd be cool if they really try to invest in it like they've done with kind of like what they've done with All Out, but like times 5. That'd be pretty sick. Work on it for like 5, 6, 7 years. Try to make it like that decade-long, lasting, really badass arcade motocross game. And then the point I'm trying to make here is they can come out with like if the game comes out in 2020, they can come out with 2020 replica national tracks. And then the next year, the game is still relevant. They're still working on it, still making improvements. Come out with the next year of replica motocross tracks and have these sort of changes to them, and it still works in the same game. You start getting that Reflex console, Reflex Reflex on PC and MX Simulator sort of, it's like the content is never ending. The content, you had 5 years ago still works in that current modern game. They can kind of start going down that route and be able to take the tracks they had from previous years, carry them over into the next game. That'd be really fucking badass if they were able to the first national tracks that come out in the next, MX vs. ATV game, and then the next year, it's like the next year of tracks, and then the next year, you're still playing on the same game, you know what I mean? You're still playing on this, whatever, Reflex 2, whatever the fuck, but they continue to come out with the next year of replica tracks, and the next year of replica tracks, and keep trying to update that one individual game, and keep coming with more DLC, more, whatever, and they keep updating the game, keep trying to make the game better. I think that's way better of a route to go versus coming out with a new game every year, and then whatever kind of content you had in the game just gets completely stripped and torn away and lost in the abyss once you get to that next game. And then, Milestone is going so wrong in that category because they're putting all this work in to make all these different tracks, all these different replica tracks, and all their different replica games, and then every year it's just a new game and you lose all the old replica tracks. They're you don't have it in the same game anymore. So you're sitting there on that new Milestone game with 15 to 18 tracks, and when you could be sitting there with 100 different tracks in a game. You know what I mean? It's fucking insane. And that's what's so badass about MX Simulator and the PC version of Reflex is, like I say, you can still go back and play on 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 SX and MX tracks, replicas in the game, and the custom tracks, and the fantasy tracks, and the free ride tracks, and the enduro tracks, and the GP tracks, and all that shit in MX Simulator and MX vs. ATV. And so it gives you this insanely, nothing's ever made without a longevity purpose. You understand what I'm saying? Nothing's ever just made and then kind of lost. It's always kept. It's always kept up to date with the game and in the game, and all the track content still works in the game. That's such a massive aspect of motocross gaming that a lot of these companies are kind of getting off, but it feels like MX vs. ATV is really going to try to do that. So that'll be cool if they can do that and go down that road with this next MX vs. ATV game. Damn, them ruts are getting gnarly right there. So either way, I certainly think that's the way to go with any sort of current day motocross game, is to try to make a 5-6 year lifespan motocross game, one individual motocross game, whether you got to make it paid DLC, whatever you got to do, you know what I mean? But if you continue to support that one game, that's what makes these Reflex, last a decade type gaming experiences, and these MX simulators that last more than a decade and still going on strong, you know what I mean, with 2007 graphics, and it's still an amazing game that a lot of people have fun with and play endlessly. It's because of the updates that have been made to the game over the years and all the track content that still works for the game, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of track content and bike skins and bike dynos, new bike dynos, every year almost, a bike dynos and MX Simulator. You got a free track editor, easy to use track editor, but it's extensive as a motherfucker. All these things is what makes that legendary motocross game. These companies need to start shooting more for that legendary motocross game versus a quick buck, quick 1-2 year life cycle. The milestone games, it's like a 2-month life cycle, but you know what I mean? They've got to start shooting for more than just release the game and update it once or twice, and then they're on to the next game. That's literally what Milestone is doing right now. I hope some of you guys realize that. They don't really understand. That's literally what they're doing. At least with All Out, they attempted to try to make the game better over the years, and the updates and the DLC tracks and the free content, and like they've done a lot for this game, dude. Whereas when you go back and look at the Milestone games, fucking laughable what they've done update-wise. Like, it's pretty much nothing when you compare it to this. So, either way, just want to come here and check out the new track, kind of talk about some shit. So, if you enjoyed the video, go share it with your dudeskies. And as always, I appreciate all the support. And have a good day, boys. See you guys back on the next one. Later, dudes.